Is why I do have a question.
Yeah.
I do have a call I have another meeting at 12 o'clock. So I want to be able to exit without interrupting anybody else. So would I just click on that red X at the bottom of my screen?
Yeah. Yep. And you are
Okay.
more than welcome to leave as soon as your part of the presentation's done, Rose.
Okay.
And you can just turn the camera off and then hit that X button, and then you'll be on your way.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Mhm. Hey, Jenny, quick question. When you are looking at the stage right now, is it pretty balanced in terms of having the interpreters as well as the content?
Yeah, I'd say so. I mean, they've both got their cameras off right now, so
Mhm.
hard to tell, if we would be able to see them interpreting adequately.
Mhm.
But yeah, I mean, as far as screen size go, I would say, hey, Katie. Hey, Tina. Hey, would you mind just testing that out? Would you mind interpreting what I'm saying really quickly to make sure we can see you okay? Okay, perfect. Do we have anybody on board that is deaf or hard of hearing currently? Well, I can see you okay. So hopefully
Yeah,
they will be able to too. So thanks.
Stephanie should be on, but I'm not looking at the list of participants, so.
yeah. Well, Stephanie's also a panelist, so she'll be joining us shortly. Oh, Kasha, I do see your note. I will share the slides with you as I'm speaking right now. Okay.
It appears that Tasha is also on. So that's another deaf person that has joined. So at least two that I know of.
Dina, there is audio. We're all able to hear each other. I think you might just need to raise the volume in your computer, but the audio is coming in okay. All right. Good morning, everyone. It is 11:01. I want to thank all of you for joining us this morning and afternoon for a pretty packed agenda where we're going to be talking to our network, which include DRS staff, our job seekers, our community partners, workforce partners, and really any stakeholder that is interested in learning more about manufacturing in the disability employment space here in the state of Illinois. My name is Bishwa Fuyal, but I go by Biz. I'm the manager of the Workforce Development Unit for the Division of Rehabilitation Services under the Bureau of Engagement and Support Services. I am joined here today by my colleagues from our unit as well as DRS to bring this presentation to you, as well as for exemplary organizations and employers that we have worked with to provide more resources and candidates to manufacturers and job seekers. I just want to go over a few housekeeping rules before we begin with the welcome remarks. Unfortunately, one of our presenters had a last-minute emergency and wasn't able to come, but he did share a presentation with me. So at the conclusion of the meeting, we will be sharing the PowerPoint deck for all the organizations that are presenting today to everyone that is attending this presentation. Just wanted to kind of go over a few housekeeping rules. Everyone that is an attendee will be on mute, and you'll only have the ability to ask questions when you raise your hand, and we will call on you to ask the questions. However, due to the time frame of this webinar, it will be fairly limited. We're asking all the presenters to present for about 20 to 25 minutes. If you have any questions, please leave them in the chat. That is the best way for us to address them, either live or after the presentation is complete. And if we're unable to provide a response to your question, we are going to be saving them and will request our presenters to provide clarification on any questions you may have, or any of us, and we'll email you the questions. We'll email you the response to your question. The meeting is going to be recorded, so anyone that wasn't able to come today can still access the recording. And we'll also share that along with the PowerPoint that the organizations will be sharing with us today. If you are a panelist, please mute yourself, please share speaking, and presenter panelist, you're more than welcome to put your video on if you would like, but you don't have to. The folks that are in the conference as attendees will not have the ability to turn their video on. So without further ado, I'm going to hit the record button, and I'm going to pass it over to my colleague, Carrie Obrist, with the welcome remarks. Carrie, whenever you're ready.
All right. Good morning, everyone. We want to thank you all for joining us today.
This meeting is being recorded.
This is the third webinar we have done this year, and this time we are focusing on manufacturing and related careers. Historically, manufacturing and job seekers with disabilities have kept some distance, each side held back by old assumptions. Manufacturers viewed their environments as too physical, fast, or hazardous, and worried about the cost and liability of accommodations, while job seekers and agencies like DRS saw the industry as inaccessible and unwelcoming and steered towards more familiar and inclusive placements. Looking ahead, the workforce system and disability employment partners are what bridge that gap, handling skills training, accommodations, and job coaching so candidates arrive job ready and employers aren't navigating it alone. That partnership turns an intimidating industry into an accessible pathway for job seekers and an unfamiliar talent pool into a reliable pipeline for manufacturers, when there has always been a great need for qualified and reliable talent, and even more so now as people who have historically worked in this industry are beginning to retire. And now for our first employer presentation for today, MSC Industrial. Founded in 1941, MSC Industrial Direct is one of North America's leading distributors of maintenance, repair, operations, and metalworking products, helping manufacturers and businesses improve productivity through a wide range of industrial supplies and services. MSC is committed to fostering an inclusive workplace by supporting employees with disabilities through partnerships with organizations that promote inclusive employment, and its disabled, emphasis on ABLE, Employee Resource Group, which encourages awareness, advocacy, and belonging. They have also requested disability awareness trainings for their employees and show proactiveness in creating an inclusive workplace environment. We're excited to welcome Rose Baltazar from MSC today to learn more about the opportunities they offer. Rose, please take it away.
Thank you. My name is Rose Baltazar. I'm about 5'2" and I have silver colored hair, and I'm here to talk to you a little bit about the opportunities that we have here at MSC. As mentioned, we are a distribution center. We have a variety of products. You might want to think of us as a hardware store, but for other companies. So we sell a variety of products to help other businesses function. Next slide, please. The MSC began with our founder, Mr. Sid Jacobson. And if you could imagine, he started the company in 1941 by selling tools out of the trunk of his car. And as the company grew, we're not a small company. We have close to 7,000 associates across the United States, Canada, Mexico, and in the United Kingdom. As the company grew, we became known as MSC Industrial Supply Company. The company used to be called Sid's Tool Company, but it's now known as MSC, which stands for Manhattan Supply Company. Next slide, please. You know, MSC's involvement with the communities is very important, and it does date back to our founder, Mr. Sid Jacobson, who believed that companies were accountable not just to our shareholders, but to our communities. Um, and our promise, built to make you better, acknowledges the purpose and values that our company was founded upon, that we exist for the betterment of others, not ourselves. We have some organizations that we partner with on a yearly basis, such as the American Heart Association, American Cancer Society, Jumpstart Home for Troops are just some to name a few. Locally, our Hanover Township, we participate as volunteers for their 5K Spring Sprint, where they raise money for for the community, for individuals who may not have ability to afford healthcare insurance. Next slide, please. One of the reasons that I was attracted to working for MSC was because of our standards of culture and the diversity and inclusion commitment that MSC has. MSC's commitment to diversity and inclusivity is grounded in our company's vision and strategy to fuel the potential of all candidates and associates. The company seeks to foster mutual respect and collaboration among our associates of different cultures. And so, as you can see, we have some inclusion. We have inclusion circles. These are our business resource groups known as inclusion circles, and they're centered on establishing a strong network, furthering the development of associates, increasing engagement, and promoting growth through learning. One of the things that I love about the inclusion groups is that it's a great way to learn about the different cultures that we have here at MSC. And to name a few, we have the Black Inclusion Group, it's a Hispanic organization for learning awareness, Women's Inclusion Group, our Veterans Inclusion Group, and our Pride Inclusion Group, just to name a few. Next slide, please. And I'd like to talk about some of the opportunities that we have available. We have a facility that's located in Hanover Park. The facility has 2 shifts, first shift and second shift. We have full-time and part-time full-time and part-time positions. And some of the positions that we have available are material handlers, lift operators, stockers, order processors, what some warehouses might call pickers and packers. And some of the available shifts that we have on first shift, they're staggered shifts. Some of them start at 6 a.m., at 7 a.m., at 8 a.m. And then our second shift starts either at 12 noon or at 3 p.m. And our first shift rate for new hires is $18.75. We offer $20 an hour for those starting on second shift. And we have a couple of ways that you could apply online. We have a QR code, and or you can apply via our website, which is jobs.mscdirect.com. Next slide, please. What you can expect working here at MSC, one of the things that I wasn't expecting when I started working here at MSC was how clean the warehouse is. You know, I grew up where my dad used to work in a warehouse his whole life, and things have changed a lot since then. But some of the things that you can expect when working here at MSC is our commitment to safety. We want to make sure that all of our associates are safe. But as far as some of the benefits that you can expect is working weekends off, paid holidays, It's a Monday through Friday are the hours of operation. We do offer voluntary overtime. Overtime is voluntary, not mandatory. When we do have overtime available, we let all of our associates know, and they are welcome to sign up for overtime on a Saturday morning. And overtime on a Saturday morning usually runs from 6 a.m. to 12 noon. But we also offer medical, dental, and vision benefits. We have a company matched 401k. We have training and growth opportunities. We have a tuition reimbursement program. And full tuition grants are available with a university partnership with Arizona Global University. Next slide, please. Some of the things that you can expect on the job are, it is there is some lifting involved. Candidates and current associates must be able to lift up to 25 pounds occasionally or up to 50 pounds. Some of the physical demands are standing, walking, standing for long periods of time on hard surfaces. When part of the lifting, we always ask our associates to work smartly. If it's something that feels, that it's a little too heavy, that's over 25 pounds, that can be the individual can ask for help. But there is a lot of carrying, pushing, pulling, reaching. Our shelving units some of them are over 6 feet high, but there are reasonable accommodations, and they can be requested for job seekers with disabilities. Next slide, please. Some of the health benefits that we offer are, we have 5 options to choose from through Anthem Blue Cross Blue Shield, and that's the Bronze Plus plan, Silver plan, Gold plan, and Platinum plan. Both have in and out of network benefits. We also offer dental benefits through Delta Dental with 3 options, the Bronze, Silver, and Gold plans. And we also offer vision benefits through iMed. And again, we have a Bronze, Silver, and Gold plan. And we also offer supplemental benefits, life insurance benefits, disability indemnity benefits, legal assistance benefits, and identity theft benefits or options, supplemental options. Next slide, please. Through our health benefits, we also offer a wellness program, and the wellness program helps you work towards accomplishing some wellness points that will give you credit for up to $60 per month towards your cost of your 2027 medical premiums. So you can earn up to $720 of credit towards your upcoming year's benefits that you choose. And so there are several ways that you can earn those points. We have 5 activities. There's a health assessment that you can complete online, an annual routine physical, a form that you would have your doctor complete, a health and well-being coaching session, a physical wellness challenge, and you can earn the points via volunteer efforts. Each of these 5 wellness activities, each of them you can earn up to 100 points, but you only need 300 points to earn the $720 annual medical credit, premium credit towards your upcoming year's health benefits. Next slide, please.
Hey, Rose, quick question.
Yes.
Before I move on to the next slide,
Sure.
I just want to make sure that both the interpreters are pinned to the stage. Can someone confirm that for me?
Kitty, I only see her screen and her name.
I see both booths.
Okay, great.
Okay.
Go ahead, Rose. We're back on slide 10, right?
Yes, health and wellness. Can you please move to the next slide? Some of the additional benefits that we offer our employees or perks is the associate purchase plan or program where associates can purchase anything in our warehouse. And as I mentioned before, we're like a gigantic warehouse. So think about anything that you would see at a hardware store. And we have a program where associates can purchase any of our products, whether it's cleaning supplies, fabric softener, laundry detergent, at just 10% above what we pay for it. And so that's significant savings for all of our associates. We also have a community relations team where we organize activities to help the community. We also have an engagement team that helps organize activities that we have here at work. For example, this past week, we just had Christmas in July. So we had bingo. We also had a barbecue outside. Sometimes we have raffles and prizes. And so you could also be part of the engagement team. For our expectant parents, we have a baby blanket program and a car seat. All new parents or soon-to-be parents receive a car seat. We also have a Shining Star recognition program where any associate can nominate any other associate to be recognized. And it's a good way to help associates get to know each other and to thank each other for the efforts that they put forth. We also have other discount programs such as mobile carrier discounts, General Motors. If anybody's thinking of purchasing or leasing or buying a car, there's a discount for that. We also have Whirlpool benefits. If anybody's thinking of buying a major appliance, there's a discount for that. The mobile carriers, I'll give you an example. My mobile carrier is AT&T. And I received $35 off of my monthly phone bill because I work here. So that's a great benefit to have. And of course, we also have tuition reimbursement. Next slide, please. So part of our recruitment process is, you can apply either online via the QR code. Once you go online and apply for a position, you'll receive, the recruiters will send you a confirmation email acknowledging that they've received your application. If you are selected for an interview, the interviews can vary in length of time based on the position that you are applying for, and that you will be scheduled for an interview with the hiring manager. And that could be either via telephone, in person, or via video conference. Part of the selection process is once the most qualified candidate is selected and extended an offer, all hires must successfully complete background check screens, and these can consist of a background check and a drug screen. And then candidates who are not selected would be notified when a selection is made for that position. Next slide, please. We ask all of our current associates, which is something that one of the things that attracted me to working here is that we invite all of our associates to identify as an individual with a disability at any time during their employment. We also invite our associates that have served with the military to identify it as a protected veteran so that we could thank them for their service and honor them for their service as well. Next slide, please. MSC is indeed committed to providing an inclusive and accessible hiring process. If you would like to request an accommodation, We welcome you to do that. You could send an email to employmentaccommodation@mscdirect.com. Your request will be treated as confidential and will only be used for accessibility or accommodation purposes. We do have a process for that for all of our job seekers with a disability, and also an internal process for all of our current associates. Next slide, please. Our mission statement is to be the best industrial distributor in the world as measured by our associates, customers, owners, and suppliers. Again, one of the first the first stakeholders mentioned on that mission statement is our associates. Again, one of the things that attracted me to working here at MSC, I've been in human resources for a little over 25 years, and that was a mission statement that really stood out for me. Some of our values, the values are we have mutual respect for all of our associates. Another value is working safely. We encourage all of our associates to be honest and forthcoming with any questions or concerns that they may have. Customer value and teamwork. These are our values. We're disciplined in our purpose to do the right thing. We always want to expect to win while being humble. Customers first, not ourselves. One team that embraces differences. We always want to make decisions that deliver results. We want to, of course, transform, engage, and evolve. And we encourage all of our associates to be direct and transparent. That's one of the things that I experience every day with my leaders, is that everybody is direct and transparent. And that's something that I really appreciate. Next slide, please. What questions do you have for me?
Hey, Rose.
Yes.
Thank you again so much for that presentation. We did capture some questions that I think you'll be able to answer that came from the chat. I think the first one is just the location. I know you mentioned Hanover Park, but do you guys have other locations in Illinois? I know you guys have national locations, but any other locations in Illinois or surrounding states?
Yes, here in Illinois, we only have the Hanover Park location, and we are located at 1575 Hunter Road. The cross streets would be Stearns and County Line Road. That's where we're close. But this is the only facility here we do have other locations, but as you said, they're really across the country. But here in Illinois, we have the Hanover Park location. But I do have to let you know that the building, we also house our Wooddale offices here, and they specialize in specialty parts that they have to keep on hand for our customers. And we also have a call center here, a customer service center here. And so I would encourage you to look at visit our website to see what type of positions we have available, because the positions that I spoke about are for the warehouse, and those are material handlers, stockers, order processors. But we do have a call center or a call service center here, and they usually post positions on the website as well. And we also have our Wooddale offices, and they may post positions as well. So it's not just the warehouse. We have the other offices here that just happen to be located at the same location.
Right. And just a few more questions before we transition. Any remote positions within MSC Industrial Supply?
We do have remote positions available, and so I would encourage all of our job seekers to visit our website, because there are remote positions available.
And I believe the last one is, are there any welding positions? I know you guys are a manufacturer type employer, related employer, are there any welding positions with MSc Industrial?
Welding, that's a good question. And it was a question that was asked to me before. And I can't remember I did look into it, but I could get back to you and let you know.
Sure, sure. Sounds good. And so I will let everyone here know that we are planning to share all the presentations that you'll be hearing about, viewing today, along with the recording of this call to everyone that registered. So if you were able to access this presentation as an attendee, we do have your email and we'll share it, like it'll go out automatically. And then it'll also include, I can also ask the employers to provide their careers page, so we share that with you too in one email. So I just wanted to make one more note about MSc Industrial, Rose, and her team before we transition to the next organization. We connected with them a few years ago, and they expressed interest in wanting to partner with us to bring in more candidates with disabilities. And they were so interested that it was the first employer, at least in my time, that requested a disability awareness training just because of their interest in wanting to make sure that the workplace is inclusive to individuals with disabilities, veterans, really any targeted population. Unfortunately, it may not be a good fit for everyone just based on their operational needs. But if you are in the Hanover Park area and you're interested in a career with industrial supply, please review the slides, and then we'll also include the careers page. And if you do apply, let your counselor and your business consultant know so we can make the referral to Rose and the organization. Rose, thank you again so much for joining us today. Good luck this summer, and we will be in touch.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, everyone.
And now I will pass it over to my colleague, Jenny Reed.
Thank you again, Rose and MSc. It sounds like what an excellent company to work for that is really embracing diversity hiring. And it sounds like a lot of amazing benefits as an employer to have. So how exciting. It is my great pleasure to introduce St. Louis Lighthouse for the Blind. Founded in 1933, St. Louis Lighthouse for the Blind is a nonprofit organization dedicated to empowering people who are blind or visually impaired through meaningful employment, education, and support services. The organization manufactures a wide range of products, including office supplies, cleaning products, and military apparel for both government and commercial customers, while providing career training, assistive technology, and rehabilitation services. For more than 90 years, the Lighthouse has demonstrated that inclusive workplace benefits everyone by creating employer opportunities, for individuals with vision loss to build rewarding careers and achieve greater independence. We're pleased to welcome the St. Louis Lighthouse for the Blind team today to share more about their organization and opportunities they offer. I personally met Christy with St. Louis Lighthouse for the Blind last year at an Accommodation for Success event in St. Louis, and I was just absolutely blown away with everything that they provide, and I'm sure they'll tell you more about that, but just what cost-effective measures that they do to really show that having an inclusive workplace environment is an affordable solution for all employers. And, doing just a couple of small changes to make an inclusive workplace can be productive, profitable for both employers and job seekers. So it has been my greatest pleasure to be working with Christy and the team with Lighthouse. And I think you guys will be just as blown away with all of the amazing things that they are doing as I am. So with that, Christy, if you could take it away. Thank you.
Hi, everyone. Thank you for that absolutely fabulous introduction. I hope we can live up to all of those words. Biz, if you could go to the next slide, please. So like Jennifer said, my name is Christy. We're just going to introduce ourselves here, give you a little background into us and who we are, how we came to be at the Lighthouse, and some of the things that we do to help make the Lighthouse a successful workplace. So like I said, my name is Christy McElfresh. I started my career as a doctor of physical therapy working in the schools, and assessed a little boy who was totally blind
had no idea what to do, and so quickly went back to school and shifted into the world of vision as a certified orientation and mobility specialist in 2018. I worked part-time for the Lighthouse while residing in Phoenix, working for a summer program here we'll talk a little bit about, and then began full-time as an orientation and mobility specialist in July of 2024. So my role here at the Lighthouse is to help to orient our employees that are visually impaired to their workspace. It is to work hand in hand with our supervisors to help them understand blindness, visual impairment, and the unique needs of those with a visual impairment. And just to kind of help find the best fit for our employees given their skill sets. And I'm here today with our production manager, April.
Hi, April Sloan. Thank you. I've been with Lighthouse since March of 2025. My background is traditionally chemical engineering. I've worked a gamut of different industries over the last 15 years, running a grain elevator prior to this, food, pharmaceutical, colorants, power industry, traveling all over the globe, getting some operations up and going. But decided to make the transition here, saw this opportunity, was really blown away with the mission, the team that I met. So I jumped on this boat a little over a year ago. My role at Lighthouse is managing the 3 manufacturing facilities. We'll talk a little bit more about that in future slides. Also overseeing the planning and production of those lines, working with Christy, other groups to make sure we're making everything in the plant as accessible as possible, working towards making other accommodations for our employees as well. So really enjoy it. Team here is great. The people are the best. So if you go to the next slide, please. So our mission, it's kind of mentioned before, is just to continually reach out to the community, recruit, help hire, develop, motivate, challenge, promote, retain excellent talent. So really we want to bring those individuals in our community. We also have people that move into the region that find out about Lighthouse that may be a good fit for them as well. Bring them on board, assess their skill set, find where they really fit into the facility, and help them grow as an employee. Next slide.
The news you need to know. Here's your Fulton County weather forecast.
So we are based in St. Louis. Our, I'd say, flagship site is close to the St. Louis airport. So we have 3 manufacturing sites. The facility that I'm mostly housed at, we have 5 main production lines, and we'll touch base on some of those products in a minute, but we make products such as aerosols, electronic cleaners, and we have some liquid filled lines as well. Our sister site is right next door. They have 2 aerosol manufacturing lines at that facility. We also have another site about 15 minutes away that does kitting, so like first aid kits, emergency preparedness, stuff like that. So each facility is slightly different. We also have a warehouse that's located about 5 minutes from this facility. Between all the plants, we have around 150 employees. Those are direct and indirect workers. Again, our goal is to hire a workforce that is comprised of at least 70 to 75% legally blind individuals. So that's really our goal, is to make those options available for those team members. We produce over 400 different products. We started really based in government work, and then we've transitioned to acquire some commercial businesses. So our product range has really developed over the last few years. And then all of our proceeds go back and feed different programs. I'm sure Christy's going to talk about too, that with our local community for visually impaired and blind. So pretty amazing to have some of those programs interact with those individuals throughout the summer and other stuff. So great back to the community there. And just 800 plus different children and adults throughout the community that are served by some of our programs. So pretty amazing. So you're going to go to the next slide. gonna let kind of Christy talk on some of this as well, but some of the support services that we offer are See the Future programs. Really goal is to empower and enrich the lives of children and adults who are legally blind. We have over 23 different programs that include some of our comprehensive low vision clinics, Braille instructions for some of our staff. We have different camps in the summer, which some of those students and young adults get to come visit the facilities as well. So it's kind of real world interaction. It's pretty fun. And just different other independent living lessons and stuff that Chrissy can talk about, kind of delve into a little bit more as well. So if you want to go to the next slide, bounce that off you, and then we'll, products first. So yeah, kind of touch base on some of the products earlier. Again, variety of different lines. So our bread and butter, I would say, between the facilities are our aerosol lines, where we make products such as electronic duster cleaners. We make spray paints, a number of air fresheners, adhesive sprays. We make dog repellent for the Postal Service, which is kind of cool and not the best to run in summer. Some hot pepper spray. We make a variety of liquid cleaners and solvents on some of our lines, range from, dish detergent, different floor strippers and cleaners. And we have a pine line that bottles different concentrates of pine cleaner. And our tree mark line takes specialty paint, and we bottle that for the forestry department that they use to go out into the forest to mark trees. So kind of cool there. So that's mostly our government products that we produce. So if you go to the next slide, I'll touch base on just some of the commercial products we have as well. So we acquired a business a few years ago. It brought in, like I mentioned, a number of additional products. So we do patches, sticker stuff for the Scouts of America. Have a number of different safety horn products through the Falcon brand that we acquired. Tear mender, which you can purchase on Amazon if you'd like as well, for different fabric tears, stuff like that. And again, different emergency preparedness kits through Quake Care. You can go to the next slide, please.
Okay, so we're going to jump in a little bit and talk specifically about how we help our employees to succeed. All of the bullets listed on this page, we're going to break out into different slides. So feel free to go ahead to the next one, Biz. All right, so the first thing I think that's really important to note is that because our workforce is unique in that many of the adults that come to us are new to vision loss, losing their vision progressively into adulthood, or sometimes sudden or acquired vision loss. One thing that's a real big challenge for us is helping employees to complete the application that's online. Many of our older adults are not digital natives, and so tech skills are hard to begin with. And then when you layer vision loss on top of that, it's very, very challenging. So we like to offer wraparound support for our employees that might need some help. And that just looks like us calling and helping them to apply. And then once they complete for onboarding as appropriate. Next slide. Some unique things about our facility is, because a lot of our employees are visually impaired, we have some physical additions to our workspace to help them to navigate and not interact with forklifts. So we have some pictures up here just to kind of demonstrate what that looks like. The first one on the left are railings that help to maintain a straight line of travel and keep our employees out of what we would deem unsafe or forklift territory by our racking. So railings, super simple to install. The second one is hanging PVC pipe. If you can see, our employee Marco there is reaching overhead and holding onto a PVC pipe that is a little over shoulder height. And we have those throughout our plant where we're not able to have railings because of storage. So we've installed those in several places throughout the plant. And again, that just allows our employees to maintain a straight line of travel and not interfere with forklifts. Next slide. Some additional physical additions. We have the metal tracking on the floor, which is to the left, anywhere where we don't have railings. And these are on our most traveled routes on and off the line. So for our employees that are cane users, this allows them to maintain a straight line of travel. And then some super simple adaptations, not the prettiest, but that's okay. Styrofoam noodles. We put those on any sort of sharp corners, protrusions, head level objects, bars that somebody might run into. And we try to do that wherever we can, specifically because we have a lot of employees that are new to using a cane and are still learning how to do that. And so we just want to keep everybody as safe as possible. Next slide. Some other adaptations and accessories that we have that are really not costly at all, but make a big difference to our employees. We add Velcro to our microwaves on the start and stop or add 30 seconds buttons so that our employees can quickly get their food heated up at lunch. We have tried talking microwaves in the past, find them to be pretty cost prohibitive, not an easy learning curve. And so Velcro is kind of it for us. We use a lot of different tactile tapes and Velcro to mark the lockers. I have a picture up there. You can see some different shapes and symbols on there. For those employees that are not Braille readers, we find that to be pretty successful to help them to identify their own space. And then we have some different tapes. Lego tape is one of my absolute favorite that we use on our time clocks to help determine the column to punch in and punch out, again, if somebody does not read Braille. Next slide, please. So orientation and mobility, that's my role here. And I would say that's a pretty niche offering for an organization. So my full-time job is to help people learn to get around our manufacturing plants. I will teach our employees how to use a long white cane if they are new to that, and if that is a tool that will be helpful for them. I do a lot of route planning and training with scaffolded instruction for our employees. I will offer them audio files if necessary, tactile maps if necessary. We do a lot of work with emergency routes for fire safety, tornado safety. Again, orientation to the physical layout of the lines. Many of our employees have never worked in a manufacturing facility, new to vision loss, and so making sure that they feel comfortable in navigating machinery and equipment without interfering with any of that. We also do orientation to break rooms, restrooms, time clocks, microwaves, anything that they could interact with throughout their day to help them feel comfortable. Next slide. Something that's pretty unique to our organization is that we offer a low vision clinic for our employees that have functional vision that might allow them to, we want to explore options for how they can best do their job. So I have a relationship with a local low vision certified optometrist. She comes in about once a quarter and we identify employees that might benefit from her service. They are evaluated for devices that could assist with their performance on the job. If it is something that will help them do their job, we purchase that. And then they are also given options for devices at home at a reduced cost that makes it a little bit more affordable to them. We really, really value our relationship with Dr. Jess Brudrick, and we could not do this without her. She helps to keep us compliant with the National Industries for the Blind, where we have to provide documentation to say that our employees are legally blind, and so we're just very thankful for her. Next slide. Some additional training that we do for all staff. For those employees that do not have vision loss, we offer low vision simulators and experiences so that they can kind of take a minute and understand what their fellow colleagues are experiencing. We also use simulators a lot when we're trying to adapt or modify equipment so that we can understand how to best do that. We have a technology lab that is open all the time, but with specific instruction a couple times a week so that our employees can learn how to use low vision devices, screen readers, those sorts of things. We recently started a Braille club for functional and environmental literacy. So As an adult, it's very difficult to acquire full literacy in Braille, but we want to make sure that our employees are able to at least understand the difference between men's and women's restrooms, elevator numbers, those sorts of things. Our HR department hosts lunch and learns once a month, variety of topics. We try to do things that are meaningful for our employees that will help them. We have had different sessions on health and wellness, nutrition, financial literacy, all of those sorts of things. And we're really hoping and planning for further employee programming to help develop mentorship opportunities and learn and grow in new skills that are important to them. Next slide. So some things we're currently working on. April and I collaborate together on a skills matrix for upward mobility. This allows us to understand every job that every person has been trained in and can do. We're working through more accessible work instructions so that anyone can access those at any time. We're constantly evaluating what positions we can adapt and support for someone with total vision loss. We have a really unique partnership with SLU where we support a grad student through their programming, and they're in the engineering department, and we work with them to develop different adaptations or modifications to our equipment. So if you go to the next slide, we can talk a little bit about those. So like I said, we have a 2 to 3 year financial support for a graduate student at SLU in partnership with the Chrome Lab. Some projects that we've done in the past, we've used our, we've taken our inkjet coder to improve the visual interface. So looking at high contrast, we've added audible output for scales in our quality lab. We've had switch filler limits, all sorts of crazy manufacturing things, but a lot of it is just accessing it in a different way, whether that is in inverse contrast, large print, digital, audible, all of those things. So some additional partnerships that we really value. Obviously, we work very closely with Voc Rehab. We love when we get referrals. We love to explore all options for our potential employees and hope to put them in the best place possible. We also have a really close working relationship with Metro, which is our local transportation. And we work very closely with them on route timing, call a ride, pickup, and if our shifts change, making sure that they're aware so that our employees can get to work on time. So next slide. So these are just some pictures of our employees at work. Like April said before, 70 to 75% of our workforce is legally blind. And so these are some of the jobs that they're doing out on the floor. We have people that work in the fill room, unloading the cans, working on checking the weights in our quality department, placing tips and caps on cans, packing boxes, palletizing, which is stacking them in a specific configuration. And we're working every day to make more jobs more accessible. So I believe
Go and talk about schedules.
Oh yeah, so April is going to talk a little bit about just what our schedules are, what we're looking for, and some benefits here at the Lighthouse.
Yep. So as Christy kind of mentioned, some of the roles that we have on the production lines right there, and depending on the specific product that we're running, some of those roles will change throughout the day, week, anything like that. So the schedules at our facilities, we went through a transition at the beginning of the year. So 2 of our larger manufacturing facilities actually went to 4 10-hour shifts. So we work 6 to 4:30 Monday through Thursday. So as Christy had mentioned, we work very closely with the public transit system to ensure, that would be a smooth transition for all of our employees. Got feedback from our employees before moving to that, and so far it's been pretty successful. So we do offer voluntary overtime on Fridays occasionally as well if we need to, make up some space there. Our other facility that does more of the kitting work, they are still on a Monday through Friday 8-hour schedule. So it's a little bit different mix up between the sites. We do offer different training on the lines. We also offer opportunities to work at other sites. So if you start at this main facility and we're running overtime at one of our other sites, we offer that up so our employees get additional exposure to different roles and products. Just makes the team stronger and the employees stronger. We offer a variety of benefits through Lighthouse for the Blind as well, medical, vision, dental. We have a number of paid holidays for our employees. Like I mentioned, voluntary overtime. We also work with our staff for those that might be capped on a monthly income. If we're ever in pay periods where their income might potentially increase, if they need to take unpaid days off, we work closely with them to make sure they can still receive their benefits outside of work and continue to keep their employment with us. So I think those are probably the big highlights. Go to the next slide, I think.
Yeah, so we welcome people to come and tour the Lighthouse, see if you think it might be a good fit before you apply. We understand that manufacturing can be scary when you've never done that before, so we welcome you to come and see it and check it out. We would also love for you to check out our website and check out our programs. If you or a family member might benefit. And please, if anybody has any questions, don't hesitate to reach out to me. My information is included on the slide there. Anybody have any questions?
Thank you so much, Christine. I think one question that I don't know if you guys cleared this in the beginning of the presentation, but there were some questions floating around like the service area that you guys provide opportunities and training to job seekers with disabilities. Would you be able to expand a little bit on like where the job seekers are from? I would imagine there would be a crossover of Missouri and Illinois just based on where it's located, but would you be able to expand on that just a little bit?
Sure. Certainly the St. Louis metro area and west side of Illinois. But recently we've had an influx of people moving here from Kansas City, Arkansas, Georgia, Tennessee. And so we really work with you to find a good start date, get you connected with local resources for housing and transportation and all of those services. So yeah, we welcome, if you're interested and you do not live nearby, we can certainly discuss that with you. We currently don't have any remote jobs available. I know I've seen that in the chat. But yeah, we love to show off. And if you're interested, we'd love to welcome you.
Great. Thank you so much, Christy and April. Amazing program that you guys have. And I hope, it's replicated in other parts of the country. I am planning to also come for the Accommodation for Success event this year. So
nice.
It'd be great to meet you both in person and then, see more of the wonderful things that you guys have done. So with that being said, for now, we're going to go on a little break. Not a little break. We're a little ahead of schedule, so we'll go on a 15-minute break just to give everyone an opportunity to stretch their legs, get something to eat if they need to. I will put a timer up. So right now it is 11:57. We will plan to be back around 12:12 to 12:10. We'll just do 12:10. So I'll put a 13-minute timer. And then we'll wrap up the webinar with 2 more excellent organizations presenting. Thank you, everyone. Thanks to Kitty and Tina for interpreting for the first half. Thanks to Christy, April, and Rose for presenting during the first half. So we'll go on a little break and we'll be back by 12:10.
Salut. Uglia.
Weather forecast is brought to you by Lynn Street Liquors. Get the Illinois lottery ticket. Visit the new GiftExchange.
This afternoon with 5 miles or wind cloud northeast 5 to 10 miles per hour. For your skies again tonight, lows are below around 50 degrees. And sunny tomorrow, daytime highs approaching 85. From the Q98.1 Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Jennifer Ritchie. Currently 81.
Ben, are you ready for me to go ahead and introduce you now? Okay, perfect. Thank you, everybody. Welcome back from break. I know hopefully you had a chance to get something to drink and get a little bit refreshed, and we are really ready and prepared for our second half of presenters today. So it is my great pleasure to introduce Ben with Stanham Core Solutions. Founded in 2022, Stanham Core Solutions is a Chicago-based workforce consulting firm dedicated to helping employers build successful neurodivergent workplaces. Through customized job design, staff training, onboarding support, and long-term employment strategies, Stanham Core connects businesses with talented neurodivergent individuals while helping organizations improve retention, productivity, and workplace culture. Their innovative approach has been implemented with companies including G&W Electric, Gilster Mary Lee, Magnetic Inspection, Laboratory, East Wing, Narita Manufacturing, and Morrison Container Handling Solutions. We're excited to welcome Stanham Core Solutions today to learn more about their mission and opportunities to help create job seekers for all abilities. I personally had the opportunity to work with Ben on multiple occasions. We had first met shortly after I had started with Division of Rehabilitation Services on some hiring recruitment efforts with Toyota that they were working on. And then I had the great pleasure of attending live in person with Gilster Mary Lee down in Southern Illinois, their award ceremony and employer tour for becoming the first Spectrum certified employer. So it just has been such a great opportunity to see, and I'm sure Ben is going to tell you more about this, but a lot of times people with autism spectrum disorder are actually a great fit for manufacturing. There's a lot of routine that's involved with that typically. And a lot of our employers that we're working with that have worked with people with autism spectrum disorder, particularly in the manufacturing field, have said, my gosh, do you have anybody else that you can refer to us that you can send with that? Because once people do get into their groove, they can be just the best employees ever. So it has been really, really, really amazing to see how they have really embraced autism spectrum and the training that Ben has provided to employers on how they can best reach out to their neurodivergent job seeker population. So Ben, go ahead and take it away. Thank you so much. And you're on mute.
Hey, Ben, if you are attempting to speak right now, I'm not able to hear you.
All right, is that better?
Oh, much better. Yep. We can hear
Okay.
you now. And I'll pull up the deck again.
Okay, thanks so much. Sorry about
And then
that.
I'll also get that video, for you during the middle of the presentation.
Okay, great. And I've got it queued up on my end too, so we can figure that out once we get to it. But yeah, thanks again, Jenny, for the kind introduction. Pleasure to be here with you all today. I know we got a little bit of a mixed group, so hopefully there will be something in here that applies to everybody, kind of regardless of your background. But really today I just wanted to share a little bit about my work in job development within manufacturing, and then really talk about how I go about building these community partnerships and maybe some tips and tricks for those of you out there who are actively looking to engage with employers, be it in the manufacturing space or otherwise. So to start, I just wanted to share a little bit more information about myself. Again, my name is Ben, and I've been working in the disability employment space for about 6 years now, starting in 2020. Prior to that, I was working as a therapist doing individualized behavioral therapy with autistic youth. And throughout that time, I worked with over 100 clients. And I noticed that all of my clients, regardless of age, regardless of capability or background, all of them would eventually experience what we call the service cliff, or that experience as individuals age out of the public school system, where they're either attempting to find employment or attempting to launch into adulthood, but oftentimes maybe don't have access or don't know how to go about achieving access to specific supports that they need. At the same time, I was noticing, particularly in 2020 and the years following, that there was a critical need for reliable talent within the manufacturing space. And so to me, it just felt like a natural fit between a workforce population, being those with autism, which is highly underrepresented in the workforce, and the employment needs of manufacturers based in Illinois who are really seeking a reliable and committed workforce population. It felt like there was a match to be made there. So in 2022, I launched my agency, Stanham Core Solutions. And since then, I have been partnering directly with employers to help identify positions, develop those jobs, train their staff, and then ultimately hire and retain competitive neurodivergent talent into competitive integrated roles. So that's just a little bit about me, but without further ado, I will go ahead and launch in here. There are questions that come up. Feel free to drop them in the chat as we go. I don't know how much time we're going to have for questions at the end because it is a bit of a jam-packed webinar, but I'll also have my information towards the end of the slide. So if you'd like, please feel free to reach out to me directly, and I'd be happy to chat more about anything that we cover here today. Biz, if you could hit the next slide, please. Great. Yeah, so like I said, today I really want to focus specifically on how it is that I go about building relationships with employers and essentially the early stages in launching these internal hiring programs, specifically centered around neurodiversity. And I think the first important thing to keep in mind when you're engaging with any employer is that ultimately the idea is that this is a long-term solution. You know, regardless of the experience or the understanding that the employer might be coming into this with, the idea is that we are going to be working to change some of their systems and create some universal access that will exist in the long term. And so at times it is just about creating some incremental successes. I think early on, it's very important to establish some sense of credibility with that employer, establish a sense of trust, and let them know that, you know, really you're working towards the same end. Ultimately, the goal is to create opportunities for neurodivergent individuals, but also to create that long-term business impact for the employer so that, you know, really we're developing that sense of job security for the individuals that are coming in, as well as the opportunity to continue to advance in a career. And so all of that just comes from the trust and credibility that's established at the beginning. The other thing that I think is helpful to think about here is there's really two different categories of employers when it comes to any kind of neurodiversity initiative or disability hiring initiative. And the way that I would categorize those is you have employers who are very eager to jump in. And a lot of times that's going to be a function of some sort of pain that they're experiencing within their workforce. Either they feel like they need to hire a lot of people, they're experiencing a lot of turnover, or there's just certain roles that they're unable to fill. And so those employers tend to be a little bit more eager to jump in, so to say, or just take on this initiative earlier on without quite as much information or as much negotiation or information necessary to make that decision. And that's great because, you know, it's helpful to know that there's companies out there that are very open to this type of a creative solution. That said, I do think it's important to make sure that you are still continuing to build credibility and trust and helping these employers understand that this is that long-term solution, that the commitment goes beyond just making those initial hires. And really where the work comes into play is when it comes to retaining people in their positions, making sure that we have some basic accommodations around scheduling, around the hiring process, and then ultimately making sure that those natural supports are in place with the management as well as the job itself. The other category of businesses, of course, would be essentially the opposite. So those organizations that are maybe a little bit more skeptical at the beginning, maybe a little bit more hesitant to launch into any sort of, again, neurodiversity initiative or disability hiring initiative. But that doesn't mean that these employers are any less committed to the cause just because they might be a little bit more skeptical on the front end. You know, a lot of times these employers can be and often are some of the most committed partners whenever they get to a place in time where they're actually ready to move forward. But they're thinking about how this is going to fit in with their current processes, how it's going to change some of their current recruiting strategies and how they develop their training. And so it's important to really understand what it is that the business needs understand what those pain points are for them, and then make sure that we're aligning to the best as we can our support for those employers. Again, just because they might be a little bit more skeptical on the front end doesn't mean that they aren't necessarily incredibly valuable employer partners down the road. It's just incumbent on us to understand what are their needs and what are their pain points and really what are the problems that they're looking to solve. And then we know how we can align ourselves to best provide that support to them and ultimately create opportunities for these clients down the road. All right, next slide, please, Biz. Great. So how is it that one could actually go about starting to build some of these partnerships? The first couple of things that I would recommend is just start to understand where are businesses hanging out in your area. In manufacturing circles, oftentimes these are going to be different trade associations. So I have a few of them listed here, but places like Illinois Manufacturers Association, Valley Industrial Association, Fabricators and Manufacturers Association. You want to keep an eye out for some of these places. If you have specific employers in your area that you might be interested in connecting with, then consider looking at their website, consider looking into different associations that they may be involved in, oftentimes which are listed there. They may also be listed on places like LinkedIn. So doing just a little bit of research on the front end to see, where are these business leaders spending their time? That gives you a natural opportunity to connect with them. Likewise, if you know that there is a chamber of commerce in your area or an association that works with a variety of businesses, I find it very helpful to just show up as a partner and show up as somebody who is offering something a little bit different than most of the other service agencies in this area, right? Because I can tell you, regardless of whether it's chambers of commerce, job fairs, associations, by and large, there is an underrepresentation of disability services in these spaces. And so as a professional showing up, looking to engage with employers, not necessarily looking to sell anything or convince anybody, but just looking to build a relationship and meet new people, you will immediately stick out because you will be a little bit unique to anything else that they've encountered. You're bringing a different type of conversation to the table. And so that's a really great place to start to just organically build some of these partnerships. Sharing a little bit about the candidates that you're working with, maybe some success stories that you've had with other employers, different resources that you might be able to offer. Those are great things to be able to share initially. But more than anything, just being able to show up, potentially be in person or in a virtual format, be a friendly face and be somebody who can start to be seen as that kind of local expert or local go-to person will help open up some of these conversations. And as you get further into these relationships, employers will start to understand how it is that you can work together so that they can build these programs internally, but also just have that sense of trust within you and within your organization that they will have the support that they need whenever it is that they're ready to take on this initiative. Next slide, please, Biz. Great. So now let's say that you've had the opportunity to connect with a few employers. You've maybe gotten past the get to know you phase. You've got a little bit of an understanding of how you might be able to work together. And now the interest is, how do I actually engage a little bit more deeply, again, to the point of hoping to get some of these individuals hired. So the most important thing is to just lead with curiosity. Every business is somewhat unique. In the manufacturing space, I feel like every manufacturer is about 85 to 90% the same. They're all buying materials from somewhere, creating something, selling them to somewhere else. But it's the details and the specifics of their operations that are different. It's their culture that's different. It's how they choose to hire people, train people, develop skill sets, and then of course the specific job processes that are different. And those are the type of details that we want to be bringing forward early on. And the only way to do that is just by really understanding their business operations, who it is that makes decisions and how decisions get made, and then ultimately how a program like this would serve to benefit that business, be it through stronger recruitment pipelines, better retention practices, or just having some more stability in their workforce, again, with high turnover positions or areas where maybe they're having to take more skilled employees, move them further down the line just to keep production running. Perhaps that's a place where we could consider developing a neuro-inclusive position to have some consistency in that key role. So those are the types of conversations that you want to have early on, just to paint the picture for that employer, knowing it's going to be a one step at a time approach. The flip side of this, and where I think occasionally things can get a little bit tricky, is there's a tendency amongst people like me and people that engage with employers to want to come in with the solution and say, here's all the candidates that I have. These are the type of jobs that they can do. This is how they're going to benefit your organization. And if we try to pitch the solution type of program or this type of solution, and we're kind of putting them on the spot very early on in this relationship to make a decision one way or the other. Oftentimes in those scenarios, the decision just ends up being no, because it seems easier in that moment. But again, if we can build some trust and credibility on the front end and really understand the pains that they're experiencing, then we can have a more holistic conversation so that we're matching our needs to their pains. Next slide, please, Biz. Great. So now that you understand a little bit of the pain points of this business, again, it could be related to employee turnover, it could be related to their operations or their efficiency. But what we want to do is start finding organic ways to build that relationship. And so we want to offer some easy ways to collaborate early on. Something as simple as a facility tour where we walk the floor, take a look at a few different jobs, and try to identify which positions may be a good match for the candidates that we're serving. Maybe we do a job review or a hiring process review where we just take a look at one very specific component of the job or the hiring process and try to put that neuro-inclusive lens on it to understand how we can make it more universally accessible. Any sort of ways that we can initially try to move the employer towards a place where we're building these more inclusive practices. That's going to help build some of that credibility. It's going to help us understand how it is that they work internally. And ultimately, at the end of this, it should be able to move us a little bit closer to creating an environment where we can make that first hire. The goal of every conversation, especially early on, is just to lead into that next conversation. It's going to be very challenging to take an employer with no experience and no background in this from zero all the way to we're ready to make a hire right now within one conversation or one visit. And so the idea is just to drop some value, enhance one part of their process, provide some sort of information or knowledge to them, and try to tee ourselves up for another follow-up conversation as things develop. Now, at some point, this conversation is going to naturally rally to them being prepared to bring somebody in and hire them. And so during this time, I would certainly be keeping an eye out as far as what is the process that we want to go to once it is time to make a hire. So are we going to do the verbal interview? Are we going to do an adapted working interview of some kind? What are the key skills that we're going to be looking at from these employees to identify if they've got the baseline necessary to succeed? Those are the types of details that we want to understand so that once it comes time to make a match to the position, we know which of our candidates might be best referred for this position. Next slide, please. Okay, perfect. We'll see if this loads. So I've got a short video to share towards the end here, if we have time.
We do, Ben.
Do we? Okay. Yeah,
Yep.
it's just a few minutes, so we'll tee this up, and then depending on if we have time afterwards, I'll share a little bit more information. But this is just a quick case study video of G&W Electric, which is an employer that I've been working with for about 5 years. And just think it's helpful for you to hear from some of the people on the floor there as far as how this has impacted their business overall.
All right, Ben, I will go ahead and hit play.
Okay.
Just make sure that the audio is coming in okay.
Try to think of creative solutions that we can work with, and one of which was presented was...
How's the audio?
It's coming through.
Was using an autistic workforce.
We pride ourselves in being an inclusive workforce, but someone with autism, that's an inclusive element that we had not explored before. So it just expanded kind of who we are and what we wanted to do. And honestly, it fills a need for us. There aren't very many people who want to work in a manufacturing environment. And neurodiverse individuals have difficulty finding roles. It's a match made in heaven.
By bringing the autistic workforce in, I was able to meet my goals because where I had 2 or 3 people doing one job, I was able to incorporate the autistic workforce, and I can only put one person there, and I still accomplish everything I need to accomplish with that one person that I normally have 2 or 3 people doing the job.
We have some very critical jobs. They're narrow in focus, but critical to our product. And a neurodiverse individual can come in and really blossom in that job. So some of them are repetitive, some of them are very procedurally oriented, and those are places where we can have a neurodiverse individual work and have our other employees be more flexible in how we use them in the plant.
One of the largest contributions an autistic employee can make to an organization is the fact that they want to work. Autistic employees need some support as well, and they're typically in the form of visuals or just predictability. If organizations will bend to that, they have a long-term employee who shows up every day, produces at high level, and is happy to be there. And the ripple effect of that is a shift in culture. Everybody wants to contribute, and people love working next to somebody who wants to be there.
The impact they had on the G&W business, because of the repetitive work and the nature of the autistic workforce, our increase in production has been about a 20%. And by me bringing them in, where I normally use multiple people, now I'm beginning to use them, and they can fill the gaps, and we still make all our production numbers.
The people that had been in constant communication with us since the beginning had been throughout the entire program a backbone. The way they help us establish like a work cell. We have to look at how the work flow was going to be more efficient. And they give us different perspectives that help us plan an area that help our neurodiversity team not just learn the new task, but also complete them in a timely manner, in a reliable way, and providing quality.
What I did with my first paycheck was ordering lunch at Illuminati's with my parents and donate money to church so that the money can be sent to poor countries, to poor people.
I buy these VHS. I'm a VHS collector.
I want to go on vacation this summer. That would be insanely lit.
Okay, great. Well, thanks again, everybody. I do have some contact information for myself on the last slide. I don't know if we could pop that up real quick or maybe just email it out afterwards. But really appreciate everybody's time today. It was a pleasure speaking with you all. And again, if there's any questions or anything I can do to help support you, please feel free to reach out and I would love to chat. Thanks again.
For all that great information, Ben. And I love that video. That was great. Okay.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks, Carrie.
Yes. Our last presenter for today is Angela Okuro from MXD, which stands for Manufacturing Times Digital. MXD is a national institute that accelerates digital transformation in U.S. manufacturing and builds inclusive workforce pathways by providing training, internships, and employer connections that help job seekers, including those with disabilities, develop in-demand technical skills and access career opportunities in advanced manufacturing. Through partnerships with community colleges, workforce agencies, and employers, MXD promotes accessible training and supports placement that align abilities with industry needs. On a personal note, I toured their facility on Goose Island in Chicago and was very impressed with the scope of their training as well as the accommodations they provide. Welcome, Angela.
Thank you, and it's a pleasure to be here. Carrie, as Carrie mentioned, my name is Angela Curso, and I'm the Director of Workforce Development at MXD, which stands for Manufacturing Times Digital. Next slide, please, Biz. MXD is a nonprofit manufacturing innovation institute, which means we're one of many federally sponsored institutes across the United States with the goal to support American manufacturing, including preparing individuals to enter the manufacturing workforce. As you all have probably heard throughout today's conversation, manufacturing is a particularly hot industry right now for job seekers. Manufacturers are having a hard time trying to find talent, which makes it a really great place for folks to go into. And manufacturing offers family-sustaining wages, great benefits, and union representation if that's what folks are interested in. Manufacturers are struggling to find talent because there is a bit of a negative perception of manufacturing that we hope to combat here at MXD. Perhaps folks think of manufacturing as a dark or dirty or a dangerous profession, but in reality, the industry is clean, it's very high tech, and very safe. We can go to the next slide, please, Biz. MXD's Workforce Development Program is designed to support job seekers with accessing training that can lead directly into jobs and help job seekers feel prepared once they go into a job as well. Next slide, please. MXD has access to our virtual training center platform, which has access to more than 60,000 courses across manufacturing as well as success skills. So it could help individuals access manufacturing training for artificial intelligence, for cybersecurity, for data analytics, you name it, we likely have a course on it. Next slide, please. Just a little bit of a look at everything we have on the Virtual Training Center platform. We have content that's been developed by MXD through our capital program. All these courses and content tie directly into in-demand jobs and lead to industry-recognized certifications. We also have a larger library of in-demand courses for manufacturing, cybersecurity, OSHA compliance, and project management, as well as success skills training, like courses for conflict management, communication, and teamwork. Next slide, please. Here's just a snapshot of the capital curriculum, which is in-house curriculum that MXD has developed that tied directly into in-demand jobs. Many of these jobs have salaries that start out at $50,000 and go far above. Next, please. Our courses are also tied to third-party certifications, which means that an individual organization has vetted our curriculum, and once individuals complete courses, they get access to that to be able to sit for that certification. Next slide, please. Here's what some learners are saying about our courses. Many are noting that they're great courses. They help individuals feel prepared for job interviews, help individuals feel prepared to get a different certificate, and also can help individuals feel like they are ready to take on the next step in their career. And that's, of course, what we hope for all individuals that take our courses. Next slide, please. Again, there's access to more than 60,000 courses on our virtual training center platform. There is we do have a fee-based model, and there is a small cost to access the virtual training center platform. There's individual courses that tie directly to a third-party certification, and then of course courses that are directed to some of those success skills trainings. If you are interested, I included here a coupon code for a discount of 25% off any course, and you can use the QR code to explore the library for free before you purchase. Next slide, please. Just a couple of frequently asked questions regarding the Virtual Training Center platform. But do the Virtual Training Center courses lead to a credential or certification? And yes, all of the courses that are on our Virtual Training Center platform come with a certificate of completion and or a select third-party certification. And so MXD's courses come with that SOCA certification after completing an assessment, as I shared. Will these courses prepare me for employment? And the answer is yes. These courses are specifically curated to show manufacturers that individual learners and job seekers are prepared to be successful on the job. We've developed these courses in partnership with employers, and many employers have already registered their own employees for these trainings. Is the VTC accessible? The Training Center has many accessibility features, including closed captioning and screen reader compatibility, and there's also many languages that these courses are available in. Next question is, I'm new to the job market. Can I still access these courses? And the answer is absolutely. We have courses for everyone, starting from K through 12 students, all the way to an individual that's been working for many years. There's no manufacturing experience required to take part in these courses. And there is a cost for the courses. We used to have the courses available for free because it was sponsored by the federal government, but we have since started charging a fee the past few months. I have seen a couple of questions that have come through in the chat. Of course, the concern about artificial intelligence is certainly one that we hear often when talking about manufacturing jobs. But the reality is that artificial intelligence can't run without a human being being able to implement and support and read the data that an artificial intelligence engine is using. So it is not necessarily a technology that's coming to take your job, but hopefully one that can support individuals in helping their job run faster, easier, or smarter. Artificial intelligence certainly isn't one that is without need for human intervention and subject matter experts. You do not need a diagnosis or any sort of prerequisites or any sort of documentation to be able to register for the Virtual Training Center platform. You are able to access at your own time. All of these courses, as I failed to mention, are accessible 24/7, completely self-paced, asynchronous, and certainly accessible to students as well.
Angela, this is Biz. I did want to add one more thing to the group that joined us today. This is actually the second time that Angela and MXD is presenting, and one of the reasons why we asked Angela to come back, doing this webinar is because of some of the comments that Kiri shared with us at the beginning of the presentation, where job seekers with disabilities have always been reluctant to enter the manufacturing workforce, rightfully so, just based on some barriers around accommodations and the physical aspects of the job. But as Angela said, and I think as you have heard through the course of the presentation, technology is becoming a major component of manufacturing. And what MXD does is ensure that those that have historically had barriers are able to still fulfill responsibilities on a manufacturing floor with the services and resources they have. So I hope I'm not out of line, but if you are interested in manufacturing and you believe that you've experienced barriers in the past due to some accessibility, MXD is that organization that will, provide some sort of training and certification to, ensure that you're able to do the job. And I know that there is a cost associated with the trainings. DRS and MXD are partners, and we can definitely cover the cost for any job seekers within DRS that's interested with MXD for any specific training. If you are interested in learning more, I'm sure Angela is going to drop her contact information, but you can also talk with your counselor or your business consultant directly to get more information and connect directly with Angela. So just wanted to kind of add that there, Angela, if there was anything that we could share directly with the group.
Absolutely, Biz. I'm very glad that you shared that. Manufacturers, as Ben shared in his presentation in that video as well, is that many manufacturers are trying to become a more disability inclusive organization, and it's with help of folks like MXD to help them realize how they can help make accommodations for job seekers with disabilities at no cost, and be able to make it a more inclusive and welcoming environment for job seekers with disabilities. And we are excited to be able to do that in support of manufacturing, and at the same time try to offer accessible training for individuals who are interested in going into manufacturing careers, but don't necessarily know where to start. I did drop my contact information in the chat, and it will be on the slides as well. I welcome anybody to email me or message me. You can use the QR code to access the virtual training center platform, but I will also drop the website in the chat, which is www.vtc.mxdusa.org.
Thank you so much, Angela.
Thank you.
Thank you again to Angela and to all of our presenters. Thank you for everybody for joining us today. If you did have any additional questions, please, of course, do get those in the chat for us to be able to follow up with you. A recording of this presentation will be made available at the conclusion of the presentation. If anybody does have any additional follow-up questions, I do believe most, if not all, of the presenters have posted their information in the chat. I would love to personally invite you guys to join us at our next event, which will be in October, which is National Disability Inclusion and Hiring Month. The date for that is to be determined, but it will genuinely be an excellent event with everything going on for the month of October. We also have another webinar with Thrive Consulting and CVS on August 27th for pharmacy technician positions. We are creating a flyer, and we'll share with the DRS network next week for registration. And Biz, I believe we can send that out to everybody who had registered for this event as well. Is that correct?
Yes, ma'am. As soon as the flyer is ready, in addition to the follow-up materials from this webinar, we'll also just send it directly to you guys so you can attend, as well as post it within our network, so more job seekers can come to that event. So like Jenny said, this recording and all the slides are going to be shared with everyone that registered. And if you have any questions, you can share them directly with the representative from the organization, your counselor, myself, or a member of the business employment consultant team.
Okay, excellent. Thank you so much. And again, thank you to all of our presenters. You guys were fantastic. And I know that I learned a lot personally about how we can really embrace diversity and inclusion within the workplace. We are excited to have you join us for our next workshop. And please make sure if there are any additional questions to get those in the chat. So thank you so much. Take care. Have an excellent day.
Thank you guys so much. Thanks to Kitty and Tina. Thanks to Jenny and Carrie and the Workforce Development Unit for putting this together. Thanks to the presenters and more importantly, the attendees and job seekers that joined us today. See you guys soon. Bye.
Give me a second. How's your day going? Hello? Hello? Is this a recording? Did I get a voicemail? Juan Jr. 309-997-0878. Somebody called from this number. If we can, please give a call back. Thank you.